I'd now like to call Matt McLaren, who is moving Amendment 3.
Fellow Liberal Democrats, firstly, I want to make clear that the policy paper which this motion advocates is excellent. It sets out a clear, systematic and distinctly Liberal Democrat approach to the many and serious challenges facing both Britain and the world at what is undoubtedly a time of great threat to the liberal international order. Nevertheless, there is a key principle mentioned in the policy paper which is conspicuously absent from the motion, a principle not only fundamental to our identity as a truly liberal party, but more importantly, absolutely essential to the proposed Liberal Democrat strategic global policy objectives. That principle is free trade. I want to be absolutely clear here that when we are talking about international trade policy and international trade deals, what we are talking about is how easy, or rather how difficult, governments make it for individuals and the businesses which they invest their time, their labour, their money into, to buy and sell as they wish. It is important to remember this because since the days of John Locke, the father of political liberalism, property ownership and the ability to trade your labour or property for some other property or service has been rightly considered to be a fundamental right. Ultimately, whether buying something or selling something, what you do with the resources legitimately at your disposal is and should be a matter for you and not the government. Beyond the point of principle, however, there is a very practical argument to be made too. Free trade is hugely transformative from the point of view of poverty reduction, and therefore can provide enormous benefits to developing nations. These nations are home to people just like here, trying to eke out a living for themselves and their families. Ultimately, when cultivating a crop, producing a product, or offering a service, they want to be able to compete for customers without what they're selling being made more expensive by protectionist governments putting up arbitrary barriers. This is exactly the misguided approach currently being pursued by Donald Trump. Not only do moves like his cut off honest sellers of quality products from their customer base, severing their route to economic empowerment, but they make products in our home economy more expensive for businesses and consumers alike. Ultimately, everyone is poorer. Now, none of this is to say that trade ought not to be regulated. There is much already in the motion and policy paper before us about the need for better regulation of international trade to ensure fair competition and the protection of both human rights and environmental integrity. We do not disagree with any of it. Nonetheless, free trade, or rather trade free from arbitrary barriers imposed by short-sighted governments in the pursuit of narrow, ultimately self-defeating political objectives, surely must be a cause we can all get behind. Free trade empowers developing nations, lowers prices at home, prevents arbitrary interference by small-minded despots like Trump, and is ultimately the liberal approach. So, conference, let us be absolutely clear that it is also the Liberal Democrat approach.
Can you draw your remarks
I
to
beg
close,
to move
please?
Amendment 3. Thank you.
Thank you.